Okay, call the meeting to order December 2nd. Will you join me in saying the pledge? Talk about it.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, warrant time. Brian, general fund warrant, and it's a big one.
Yep, general fund warrant. Stay here, dated, I think it's printed off 11/26/2024. The total amount here is $591,170.17. 90% of that, roughly $531,720 is for Frank Wickham Construction, which is for our paving. I believe that's our entire paving budget this fiscal year. And I was gonna ask Sean, I assume they finished all the projects with paving and they're completely done? I don't know if Howard.
Yes.
Okay. The vast majority of the rest of that is health insurance, actually, which is in the normal range. So I'd make a motion that we accept the general fund warrant as presented.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can I make one correction? I'm sorry. I mentioned November 26th. That was the date. I think this was printed, but it does say all invoices. It's through 11/19 through December 2nd, 2024. So I just want to make that amendment. Again, make a motion to pass the general fund warrant as presented.
Okay, second that.
Yes.
Thank you, Jack. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Brendan, you have the miscellaneous warrant.
I have payroll.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, Jack's got that.
I got somebody switched off mine.
Maybe I did.
I'll go.
Okay, go ahead, Brendan.
All right, I've got two payroll warrants, November 29th, 2024, $50,014.09, normal payroll and agency payment. November 22nd, 2024, $26,084.87. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
I,
Hey, Jack, now you have the
Okay.
miscellaneous
Right,
warrants.
Federal ARPA fund warrant in the amount of $15,916.70. And industrial park warrant in the amount of $1,052.60. The reappraisal warrant in the amount of $300. And the stormwater utility warrant in the amount of $122, $122,722.26. And I know we approve the warrant.
second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I,
Thank you. I think that's it for warrants. You have two sets of minutes in your packet, both from November 18th, one for the special budget meeting and one for the regular meeting. Somebody like to make a motion to approve?
So moved.
second that.
Thank you, Brian. All in favor?
Aye.
I,
All right, perfect. Public comment. It doesn't look like it. Perfect. Town managers report. I see the parks policy is on here. I guess you're here to talk about that, I guess, or you just, no? Yeah, I think we talked about it briefly, Sean. Is there anything like burning fire on that policy?
No, I just know we wanted to get back into, I guess, what you had started before me and going through
Yeah.
policies. So this is much to just to kind of start the discussion.
Yeah.
Internally too, I'd like to kind of get kind of everybody that's involved in every aspect of it more involved too. So then we can kind of bring it back to you guys and kind of finalize what we all think. But this is as much to just kind of start the conversation and see if there's anything that comes off of your guys' mind, off the top of your head.
Now, is that the parks policy that's currently in place?
dated over 21. It says on it, Sean, October 18th, 2021. This is the most recent parks policy as far as you know?
As far as I know, yeah. That's the one on our website.
It is.
Thank you, Jen.
Brian, I see you got some edits up there.
Yeah, I just read through it. I know I've reviewed this before, but it's the first time I've really tried to read it for understanding. I don't know, the second section, opening and closing time. I mean, I was just reading this again. I didn't know if there was a particular reason we were looking at it, but those two paragraphs in the opening and closing to me seem confusing, especially if I'm just a member of the public. First sentence says the parks are open from Memorial Day to Labor Day. And then the third sentence goes on to say the shelters and restrooms will be closed following this first snowfall. I guess I'm assuming like the Bay Park is, I mean, I went walking through there in October and obviously I didn't park there, but I didn't take it that the park was necessarily closed. So maybe just tidying that up a little bit for understanding. I get, and again, we have
I agree.
3 parks, correct? Cohen Park, Bay Park, Town Forest, right? I mean, it doesn't specify that, maybe just even in the purpose, I don't know, just to mention the 3 parks. Maybe the opening and closing times, these are just suggestions I have. Having it where it's separated out per park, Bay Park and Cohen Park is this, Town Forest is this. I was reading through and it's just confusing, that's all. If that makes sense.
No, I agree. And in fact, I'm even talking to
I'm sorry, Sean, was there, I don't know if you got cut off there.
well, long story short, in case my internet's
Okay.
faulty, I agree. I'm talking to Dave and John stuff. It's like, well, if it's, it's still beautiful here in Vermont in September and October, and to stop the parks from being closed. Did I get frozen again?
Yeah, and I was thinking, is it maybe that the parking areas are closed? Maybe that's what's closed, not necessarily just saying the park is closed.
Yes.
And one other thing, just under fees, a small little thing, but easy fix. It does list 2 different pricing categories. The first one is for groups of 25 persons or less. And the second one is for groups of 25 persons or more. I know it's silly, but what if someone has 25 people? Just make one 25 or more and the other one less than 25 or whatever,
Yeah.
Sure can.
The town forest never will, it's, for that. Yeah, a snow cabin goes through there, that acts on the trail for snow.
Is that like snowmobile club do that?
Yeah.
Not to muddy the waters, but should that be its own policy, the town forest separate from the town?
I actually wrote that down as an idea too, John.
Just because there's
It
things that you
presents-
can do in the town forest, but not necessarily in the, like, yeah,
Yeah.
like, it's so people don't get confused. Or is that?
I agree. I wrote that down too. Maybe that should be a
Because
separate
it's, when
policy.
people see town parks policy from an outsider, and I guess I would think people are looking for your like park, not necessarily a town forest.
I think even for a local citizen, actually.
Look at this years ago and trying to rifle,
So we've been looking at this policy on and off the whole time I've been on the board, back when Alan and I first got elected, and I've been saying since the beginning that Bay Park, probably since we have the walking path in, and now that especially that we have the ability to maintain it with a vent track, should be open year round to some extent to include parking. The town forest, we've kind of got an unwritten policy that it'll remain open and that it just gets plowed last. Cohen Park, we open historically to ice fishermen when the ice is good enough to be able to launch from that location on the lake. I just think it's time to not rewrite the thing, but really pick it apart and redo it and make it meet our actual, what we expect out of the parks. And if you look at the budget we had for the parks program when that was written versus what it is today and what we have come to expect and enjoy out of it, it just, that policy doesn't live up to everything else that we've done in the parks. So it'd be good to see it get revamped.
Yep. Yeah, some other things, I mean, I don't think we necessarily need to mention swimming, although we might want to. I'm just thinking of swimming's allowed at these two parks and just have it in there unless it's closed, so they should check it out, the water quality's bad. The other one is there's no mention of camping, and it might be worth putting in there. Does it?
It's not nice, the parks,
So it should be in here though, too.
parks board.
Okay.
There an ordinance? Paper?
The parks ordinance.
Cause see, I'm having a hard time recalling this one, obviously. I must be thinking of the one.
We did that. We reviewed the ordinance and pulled a lot of the stuff that's in this policy out of the ordinance and made it a policy, something that we can change without having to go through the ordinance policy process, excuse me.
Okay.
And then we did all that setup work and then never really went back to fine tune everything in the policy. Just kind of got to the point where there was a policy.
Yes, thank you.
Right.
Okay.
Now it's coming back to the point. My boys, we would be missing a lot of stuff. Not a
Well,
lot,
I
but
mean,
there's
camping was. would be
fun,
good,
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So maybe we should look at them in conjunction with each other.
Or do we even need a parks ordinance if we just have?
I mean, I think you do to be able to find anybody
Oh, that's right, if they're like smoking in there, not fireworks or.
camping. You have no enforcement authority without an ordinance.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right, okay. I guess if anybody has any more edits, we'll keep this open for now. Sean, if anybody has any edits, they can email them to Sean and we can discuss it some more. I think that pretty much fills that for now.
Table it.
Yeah, we're not making, it was more or less just to bring it for discussion real briefly and then,
So it's not, you didn't bring it up as a motion.
no, there's no motion. Don, do you have anything else?
Just another reminder about our Holly Jolly Jamboree, which is Saturday, 4:30, and Christmas lighting is at 5:30, right, John?
That's the 7th, right?
Yes.
Hockey game.
Okay, does anybody have any other business? Okay, hearing none. Next meeting is Monday, December 16th and Monday, January 6th at 6:30. And staff holiday party, December 19th. At 5. Having said that. Somebody like to make a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel matter where premature general public knowledge of the subject matter would place the town or persons involved at a substantial disadvantage. Further move to enter into executive session to discuss a personnel matter under the provisions of Title I, Section 313A1 of the Vermont statutes and to invite the town manager and the director of operations. I'll take it.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Right.
Okay, perfect.